Casey was baseball mad, had the fever and had it bad, just to root for the hometown crew every Sue. Casey Blue. On a Saturday, her young beau called to see if she'd like to go to see a show, but Miss Kate said no. I'll tell you what you can do. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Katie Casey saw all the games, knew the players by their first names, told the umpire he was wrong all along, good and strong. When the score was just 2-2, Katie Casey knew what to do, just to cheer up the boys she knew. She made the gang sing this song. Take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Hey, everybody. Wait, I don't want to be there. I want to be over here. Hey, folks.
Hey.
Oh, let me.
Everybody.
Wait, where's that coming
from? I don't want to be there. I want to be over here.
All right, there we go. All right, look, folks. Welcome back. We are here live. I am doing my first stream tonight. How does it look? I don't know. There I am. I'm looking at myself. I've got chat over here. Oh, look at that. The chat is showing up. Look at the people showing up. Folks, thanks so much for turning out and being here for what is going to be, a series of... Hey, look at Chilo already... Chilo's already accessing some of the new emojis. You see that, folks? We got some Old Bay seasoning emojis. We've got the mountain... And we've got Popeye in there. I figured Tyler O'Neill. We've lost the Tony Tater. We're bringing in Popeye for Tyler O'Neill to hopefully, not replace Anthony Santander. No, we're not trying to replace the man. He's a good chap. But we got Tyler O'Neill. We've got some new players. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, folks. And I'm going to get better at not having to pause and think like, what do I need to start talking about first? I mean, there's so much to go over. Hey, let me do this first. Since I'm looking at the actual YouTube broadcast, while I'm in here, I haven't had a chance to give away some of these memberships for free. I got 10 of them to give away. Here go 5 of them right now. So, folks... It's time to get your BirdWatcher badge back. If you were a BirdWatcher before, come on back. Look at that. Matt, one of our mods, is already getting a hookup. Fitzy's a BirdWatcher. So there you go. There's 5 people. Maybe I'll throw out 5 more here in a little bit. Right. Oh, Ben E. Jets. I remember Ben E. Jets. Great. Names I remember. This is good. So, what to talk about? All right, first of all, it's been a crazy off-season for me because, for about a month and a half, I just took it very, very easy. And how am I going to do this where I can still monitor the chat? It's better like this. Yes. What's up, Mr. Hyde? Yeah, so, calling 162 games and 2 postseason games without missing a single one and dedicating my life, turning my schedule upside down, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, everything I had to do to live a dream. And I lived it, folks. I started this channel last year with nothing but a microphone and access to YouTube. And it was a great first season in terms of the channel success. You guys showed tremendous outpouring of support and, giving me the confidence that I need to feel like I can be a voice for you guys for the team that you love, the Orioles. So now here I am in HD. So you might have gotten more than you bit off more than you can chew. You might not want this. This will be the largest version of me. And this is like our chat hangout area when games are not on right now. So you can see there's like a transparent chat box here. It pops up on the screen. The sub count, I don't know what happened to the number. A lot of this stuff is a work in progress, folks. Basically, you just have to go to websites and sort of just what do you call it? Like cut out a little chunk of something like a sub count number, and then you pop it in there. But when the website shifts or changes, then you got to go in there and adjust. So most of this stuff is just stuff you're not going to really be too concerned about. But hey, let's go over here to this scene. This is going to be our main scene for in-game. So my TV is like right here. I'll be looking this way, so for me it makes sense to be in the corner down here looking like toward the field. Right now you got the field of Ed Smith Stadium, the Orioles spring training complex. But while the season is going, we're going to have a nice Camden Yards backdrop, and we're on the road. I'm going to do my best to get a backdrop for every ballpark we play in, so it's like we're right there. All right? Do you feel like you're right there? I hope so. Hey, by the way, there's a poll up. Feel free to chime in on that and give a grade for the Orioles offseason in terms of transactions and what have you. I know a lot of people out there are not happy, but I feel like we need to talk about that, And look, if you have a question, like people are chatting right now, and you have to understand that my mind is racing thinking of the 562 things I want to talk about tonight. And, I'm in that sort of performance mode. So if you really want to get my attention, I'm not asking you to make it a super chat, but maybe tag a question directed at me with like a capital Q at the beginning of your comment. Maybe capital Q, colon, and then your question, and maybe it'll pop out a little better for me. Or @mention me. That would also help, like Janet just did. Oh, is the music still playing? Oh, my God. That entire time, the music was still playing. Why is it still on? Okay, so that's a lesson. Did it just play on a loop? It's only a 2-minute track. Okay, thank you for that. Hey, by the way, let's do a sound check. Again, folks, as much as I want to make this perfect for brand new people to find and go, ooh, wow, I really like the professional approach to this channel. No, it's a series of mistakes and things tonight as it's a test run. But right now the music is off. Can we do a lag check, please? I'll say a number. Someone just type in the number when you hear it. The number is 3. Please type in the number 3. Oh, there you go. There you go. Great idea. All right, so there you go. If you got a question at me, either @mention me or use the emoji question mark so that it'll pop. It'll pop for me. My vision is getting worse. And these glasses, I didn't get the non-scratch variety, and I'm regretting it because, it's just, I can't. There's always some kind of little fleck of something in my line of sight. It's bothering me. Okay, so it does appear like there is a bit of a lag, more than I would like. I would not like this to be the case during the season. Give me a sec to look at the settings here and see if I can determine the culprit. Meanwhile, again, the Orioles today, it's the first day for pitchers and catchers to officially report. Mike Elias did a press conference and answered all the questions. Many of us are sitting here with bated breath wondering what kind of injury report are we going to get? How bad is the news going to be? Folks, it turns out, yeah, I'm actually operating on ultra low latency. I'm not even on low, which I ought to be. And yet in fact, I'm experiencing a bit of like delayed response to just interacting with the website right now. It's a little bit annoying. So Mike Elias, he did his press conference today. Not only did pitchers and catchers report, several position players did as well. What happened here? Now it's asking me to reload. Wow, the entire studio just crashed. Okay. I guess all right, it's back up quickly. I don't know if that's going to improve the lag or not. But again, I am running at a latency that should make the lag very, very small. So let's talk about this first. I mean, first of all, where am I pointing at? Yeah, look at this, folks. This is a photo from the spring training complex this morning with Jackson Holliday walking in. Look at Jackson Holliday's bicep. What is this kid doing in the offseason? I would like to please... Wait, which scene are we even using right now? Am I on the right one? Yeah, there it is. Okay, I am. Like, folks, honestly, I don't really want to see Jackson Holliday's biceps get any larger until he can just figure out a better plate approach. Maybe work on his front leg lift. Yeah, he's always been jacked, especially for his age, but he's right up there now with Tyler O'Neill. He is right there with Tyler O'Neill. I think they're going to probably get along swimmingly and compare biceps, but that's ridiculous. But, yeah, so when the season is happening, you're going to have your scoreboard up here at the top, right? That's going to be live and updating. Right now, there's no game, so it's just a placeholder from a late game last season. You're going to have some out-of-town scores as well, the stuff that's sort of above where my hand stops. That's going to be a little a ticker, like a rolling ticker of other games that are happening. So you'll have access to other games that are going on. The main box here will switch to that box you remember of like an animated strike zone, pitch by pitch. So you're going to have all the information there along with a nice little background. And again, we'll be able to flip. Where is this? We'll be able to go from scene to scene. You know, I can just jump. Where am I? Do I need to go back over? I can jump back over this way, like between innings. I figure I jump back on this side, and then maybe we got the chat running, and I can engage with chat a little more. That's going to be my focus, is to try to concentrate during innings on the game itself and save interaction for chat between innings. I just, especially if the channel gets larger and larger, eventually it's just, logistically the best thing to do. But all right, enough, folks. You don't want to hear about channel upgrades and stuff, especially if you're new. You're like, I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Why would I care about what you've been doing? Give me some content. All right. Content you want, content you shall have. All right. Let's first begin by, let's go over to screen 3 here and take a look at some information here. You're going to see my little software here, but I'll get it out of the way real quick. I'm just down in the corner now, and you're looking at my desktop with the chat here on the side. What's my answer to the poll? It's between a B and a C. It's between a B and a C. And it looks like 50% of you it looks like that's the most popular answer, which I'm happy to see. I figure there would be a lot of people. I say a lot. It's a pretty small sample size. But, in relation to the numbers, I assumed that a majority, if not a majority, then a large percentage of people would have said something lower, more unhappy. But let's get the biggest thing out of the way, folks. Corbin Burnes was never going to re-sign here. I mean, Everyone's like, well, why didn't we go get the ace? Why didn't we go get the ace? In terms of the free agent market, other than Burns, you had Max Fried as the next guy to be considered an ace. And in my humble opinion, for a contending team, he's more of a number 2 than an ace. And yet he's making ace money for the Yankees now. The Yankees wanted to pay him with a large, long-term contract. I think Corbin Burns might be worth that, but he just doesn't want to play. He wants to play where he wants to play, and he doesn't mind taking a pay cut. And why wouldn't you mind if you're making $250 million? What's another 10, 15 million or whatever? So, folks, I wouldn't be upset at the Orioles organization for not being able to retain Burns. He simply did not want to stay, and the writing was there before the offseason even began, okay? Wow, I'm looking at myself at the... All right, so wait, let me go back to here. Otherwise, Anthony Santander, that's the big one. The big one here with Anthony Santander is... We signed Tyler O'Neill for a 3-year deal. There are opt-outs. There's an opt-out after the first season. If O'Neill performs extremely well, he has the option to say, you know what, I want to test the market. I think my value has ticked up. I'm worth more than $17.5 million, and he'll walk. If he doesn't perform up to expectations where he feels he can make more money, then he'll likely just stick with us. Now, let me explain why I feel that's actually a contract that makes sense. Because the deal is like, I feel like it's a motivational contract. It's a prove-it contract without it being just a 1-year prove-it contract where it's like, all right, O'Neill, we are giving you the motivation. If you go out there and perform, you can go right out and test the market and make more money than we're paying you. But guess what? If that happens, then we got 1 year of Tyler O'Neill performing at a level that's an extremely good value for $17.5 million. If the guy can stay healthy, this guy mashes lefties. He's got extreme power. Like, I mean, he can definitely be an adequate replacement for Santander. Now, is he going to reach 45 home runs? Probably not. But is Tony going to reach 45 home runs again? I doubt that too. He's going to a decent hitter's park with Toronto, and I do think he's going to have good success there, at least for the first year or two of that contract. But, you know, seeing how much Tony signed for and it just being a couple of $1 million more a season, and then looking at some of the other signings we've made where it's like Kerry Sanchez. Okay, I get the idea. A backup catcher that can DH against lefties and with a power bat, you know, that's an upgrade from James McCann. I get that, but I don't know if I want that perk when really we're talking about, I don't know, 200 at-bats this year, 250 maybe. I'm projecting, when you could have just gone out and got a good, like, veteran backup catcher that maybe doesn't have that power number tag and would have had a price tag for several mil. I mean, Sanchez went for what, like $8 million? We could have gotten somebody for like $4 million. You know, that would have been serviceable as a backup, especially as we wait for Basayo to come up and join the big club. But yeah, so I feel like money could have been allocated a little bit better, you know? Like, I really wanted to like, if we were going to make a splash signing, I felt like Tanner Scott was the right guy. I really want to make our bullpen, like, if we couldn't go out there and get the ace, we did have the opportunity to go out there and get a shutdown relief pitcher. And imagine a lefty-righty combo, 8th and 9th inning, taking turns based on matchups of Tanner Scott and Felix Bautista. It also would have given Bautista, you know, not so much pressure, you know, this first season back from Tommy John. You know, he can share duties and not have to pitch back-to-back nights or what have you. That's where I would have splashed the cash. We went out and we got Kittredge. I think he'll be a nice addition. I think the Oriole bullpen overall is pretty good, but again, guys like Gregory Soto and Sir Anthony Dominguez, they've got to prove to me that they're going to be a little more reliable, a little more consistent. I saw a question pop up over here. Let's take a look. Chilo says, I've seen people say the Orioles have the weakest rotation of the AL East. Is that true? Geez. I mean, the thing is, if you're going to say, hey, let's play one game against every other team in the East, and you pick your best pitcher, we'll pick our best pitcher, and we'll see what happens. I guess I kind of have to agree at this point, because who is our opening day starter? I think it's going to come down between Zach Eflin and Grayson Rodriguez, and I think the organization really wants to see Grayson impress this spring. I think they want to make him that opening day starter. I think they want to instill that confidence in him that he is indeed the ace, not only of the future, but of today. And part of that sort of symbolic gesture would it be to give him the opening day start. So I'm already losing my train of thought, but here comes So compared to other teams in the league, I mean, look at the ace of every other team. You got Garrett Cole for the Yankees. We don't have a guy as good as Garrett Cole now. The Blue Jays, who do you pick? Gossman. We don't have a guy that has a track record as good as his. The Rays, McClanahan. That's hopefully a guy we're going to trade for. Shane McClanahan, Baltimore native. Folks, that is my pick for our actual long-term ace. We're gonna trade for McClanahan, and we're gonna lock him up long-term. And I think the Orioles are looking for a pitcher like that. Rather, I think they're kind of happy they didn't land Burns in a way, because again, we're talking about a $250 million investment. But more questions. Wow, I don't know how to handle this. I guess questions take precedent right now, and then I'll go over some of the stuff Rock Kubatko has been talking about on day one with pitchers and catchers reporting, and some of the quotes Mike Elias has from the first press conference today. Oh, it's just a question mark to explain if you have a question. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. All right, so some of the other signings we had this offseason besides Tyler O'Neill, Andrew Kittredge was mentioned already as a right-handed reliever. He's solid. He's a solid right-handed arm, and I'm going to assume that he's going to sort of be at the top of the pecking order behind the closer in terms of leverage situations. I'd say right now ranking high leverage to low leverage for our bullpen. Once Bautista is your closer, I mean, this depth chart here, I'm mostly in agreement with. I mean, they have the setups as Keegan Aiken, the lefty, and Kittredge, the righty. Folks, do you remember how much I praised Keegan Aiken last season, even when he got sent back down to AAA? The whole season, I'm sitting there, I'm like, is anybody looking at this guy's stats? This guy gets outs. This guy doesn't blow up. He's pretty dependable. Well, I don't know if this is something pulled out of the organization or just an assumption made by whoever puts these depth charts together, but I tend to agree that at this point, you got to put Aiken ahead of Gregory Soto and Cianel Perez as your highest leverage left-hander. And then you got Sir Anthony Dominguez, Ynier Cano, Gregory Soto. All those guys have really good stuff when they're on. Dominguez, Cano, and Soto, they have the stuff. It's just, can they find their best? I mean, these guys have shown in patches, whether Cano for us or Soto or Dominguez for the Phillies, that when they are in the zone, when they've got their stuff working, when they're cooking, as the kids say, they're all pretty tough to handle. So that's just a. And then Cianel Perez, you know what to expect from Cianel. I don't mind having him in the mix. Albert Suarez is now gonna probably be the long man. Right now they have Zach Eflin as the one, Grayson Rodriguez, Charlie Morton, Dean Kramer, and then Tomoyuki Sagano. Do I agree with all of this? Can you make it bigger? You can't read. Probably can't, to be honest. I'm showing you my whole desktop. Oh, look at that. Okay. Sometimes you do that and, like, everything just... All right, so there you go. That's a little better for you. So here's the deal. Are the Orioles, are they set with what they have? there was a question asked of Mike Elias. Let me go and see if I can find that Mike Elias quote. But basically, they were asked, do you plan on doing any more, personnel movement now that, camp has started? And he said something to the effect of, I'm very happy. Oh, no, it began with, I'm still on the phone, but I'm also very happy with the group of guys we have right now. So that's pretty much an open-ended, ambiguous answer. I think if the Orioles can pull off a trade for a frontline starter, I think they're going to try to do it. I just don't know how likely that is. It seems rather unlikely. But what I think Elias is counting on is that step up from Grayson Rodriguez to emerge as our ace. And if that doesn't work out, if we can just be competitive until you get to July, then you start talking about other, big arms out there that might be available for a rental during the trade deadline. Obviously, it can't be Trevor Rogers or any one of his ilk. Can't make that mistake again. But if that were to happen, whether we traded for somebody now or later, and you look at the rotation as it is, I would have to assume Sagano would go in a long relief, and we basically would have to lose Albert Suarez. So that's what would happen, folks. But we also need to watch Albert Suarez this spring, and if he does make the team early on, how he does, because what Albert Suarez was able to do for the Orioles in 2024 was absolutely amazing, absolutely out of nowhere, and as much of a surprise as it was, a pleasant surprise, you have to be prepared for the potential reality that it was sort of that magical, everything's put together season, and if this guy was as good as he was for us last season, he did have some stretches where he was pretty ineffective. But overall, I mean, what the most important thing about Suarez is his role and the fact that he was willing to do whatever the Orioles asked him to do and many times excelled. You need me to start? You need me to emergency start because Grayson's got to feel something in his leg or something? Okay. Oh, you want me to go into middle relief now because our starting pitchers are healthy again? And all right, I'll go. Oh, the long man. All right, I'll be the long man. Oh, what's that? We're in extra innings. You want me to pitch in the 10th inning? He did that too. He did it all, folks. So I hope we can retain him. I hope he can continue to be effective. But, I mean, the reality is you spend $13 million on Sagano. Kramer, I don't think, is going anywhere unless he just absolutely loses it. Morton, again, $15 million. You just spent the money. It's a one-year deal. Those guys are going to... they're not going to get cut. They're not going to... The only thing I can see is Sagano, again, going into long relief if we do wind up adding a starter through trade, or if we get to the All-Star break, as Kyle Bradish returns, somebody's got to make way. Again, I could see Sagano dropping into long relief, and then Felix Bautista would just have to... Or excuse me. Albert Suarez would just likely have to be DFA'd, which would stink. But again, he doesn't have any options. We can't send him to AAA. He's either got to be on the roster or not. I suppose maybe an ineffective right-handed middle reliever. Let's say, for example, Sir Anthony Dominguez is utter trash. Maybe you cut him first and just have a space for both Suarez and Sagano in relief. Because, again, Suarez has shown that he can even be like a short-term, like middle reliever. You need him just for an inning late on. He can do that. He's done it. So there's a lot of ways for Suarez to stay on the team, but at the same time, he's also the odd man out if we do add an arm to overall upgrade the rotation. Empty's asking, BW, I'm hoping for big things from Sagano. What do you think we can expect from him? I mean, we're talking about a very decorated pitcher from the Japanese professional league, and he's had about a decade's worth of experience. He's won, I believe, multiple versions of the Cy Young Award that they have in Japan. I can't remember the actual name of the award, but he's won it multiple times. Last season, he showed no signs of. I mean, now that he's in his mid-30s, you know, his high velocity pitches, the velo is down a little bit. You know, it's down a little bit, but he's one of those guys that if you look at how his pitching career has evolved and he's gotten now into that veteran age, he's a pitcher now. He's not just relying on just that pure talent and stuff. He is now focusing more on location and mixing up pitches, keeping hitters off balance. And you look at the ERA he posted again. I'm not saying this ERA translates to Major League Baseball, but he posted, I believe, a sub-2 ERA last season. Sub-2. I can probably confirm that rather quickly. Let me find out real quick. His ERA last season, was 1.67, folks, in 156 and 2/3 innings. Okay, he made, I'm assuming 24 starts. This is empty, but it shouldn't be. But yeah, a 15-3 record, 24 starts, 156 innings, with an ERA of 1.78. If this guy's ERA doubles to 3.5. If this guy's ERA doubles to 3.5 as a number 5 starter or potentially eventually a guy in long relief, that's great. That's great. We'll take it. All he has to do is not completely fall flat on his face. And I think we've got something with this guy. And also, I'm just really excited just to have some Japanese influence on the team. I think if we get more talent from Japan, it opens up the opportunity for other players from Japan to want to come play for us. Yes, Robert. Multiple. I did say that, right? Robert's back, folks. How much longer till that catchphrase returns? Hey, by the way, we've got the soundboard back. And I'm going to have to make some adjustments because this is the sad one, folks. This one has to leave the board. Oh, it doesn't even work anymore. That must be a sign. My Tony Taters button isn't working. How about that? But in terms of this channel, folks.
Baltimore, you are seeing history being made today.
Yeah, that's what I mean, Empty. That's what I was talking about, his command, his control, locating pitches, being very pinpoint. That's very, it's... I think you're looking at home runs, though. That's 6 home runs, 16 walks. Okay? But still, he's got excellent command. 16 walks in 156 innings, that's less than 1 per 9, I believe. Right? 9 times 16. So, yeah. Good, and a veteran influence. I don't know how much he's going to be able to communicate to other pitchers there on the team, how much of a mentor he can possibly be. But I'm sure he'll carry himself with a certain professionalism that just that alone will be a positive influence. And then you got Charlie Morton, who there's your, English-speaking veteran influence. And, boy, Charlie Morton, folks, he's got one of the best curveballs in baseball, still does. I mean, that thing breaks. It breaks hard. I mean, it breaks big, it breaks hard, and that's his best get-you-out pitch. And if a kid like a Cade Povich can learn a thing or two on how to improve his curveball from a guy like Morton, then very, very happy to have him back. Oh, yeah, we're not going to bring in... Unfortunately, Ohtani's interpreter is, I believe, about to begin serving just under 4 years of a prison sentence for his his fraudulent activities posing as Ohtani and trying to funnel money to pay off his gambling debts. My goodness, what a gigantic mess that was. And I feel bad because for a few days there, people were really thinking, like, is Ohtani, like, on the side, like a degenerate gambler? Is he going to be banned for baseball for life? You guys like the Morton pickup. Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I mean, Morton, look, here's the deal. He's 41 years old, right? This is the time of any pitcher's career where it's like, is the other shoe going to drop this season, or has he got another year in him? When you get in your 40s, that's how every season is treated. Maybe you got another year in you, maybe you don't. And we're going to find out if he does or he doesn't. But I don't think he's going to just simply fall apart. And I think, again, I'm not really happy with the allocation of money. Like Jack Flaherty had a 1-year deal. That went for $20 million. I would have rather probably have gotten Flaherty, or not Flaherty. I'm sorry. I take it back. Who am I thinking about? Walker Buehler. Excuse me. Walker Buehler. Not Jack Flaherty. Walker Buehler. I got to admit, the Red Sox, between trading for Crochet and then signing Buehler through free agency for what I think is a very fair price for a 1-year deal, or you don't have any sort of commitment if he doesn't really do it for you. I feel like they beat us to the punch when it comes to improving their rotation. I really do. So, yeah, there's definitely moves going on with these other teams. The Red Sox, you got to consider them a stronger team than they were last season with the addition of Bregman now. And their rotation has definitely gotten better. Is their defense going to improve? Bregman being at second base with all these other areas that have some issues defensively, we'll see. But Toronto, of course, they started their offseason pretty quiet, but with Santander and a couple of other ads, they look like they're going to at least be a team around 500 at worst. I mean, it's going to be competitive. But hand to heart, folks, hand to heart, I do honestly believe, even without that ace in the rotation, that given the 162-game schedule and the fact that come July we might go out there and trade for an arm like that, or that Bradish is going to come back and make us better. When I look at this lineup, folks, where's the lineup? It's just so strong. I mean, the problem is whatever happened to the team's philosophy, attitude, approach whenever we got into that second half. We went 33-33 down the stretch. We were just a flat 500 team. And we felt like we were a losing team, but our worst was a 500 team. That was us playing at our absolute worst. We were still a 500 team, you know? So as long as we can figure out what went wrong there, and I think it starts with Adley Rutschman and his plate approach. I'm also very happy. By the way, Jordan Westburg, can we talk about this projected lineup? If there's one thing I'm going to champion consistently, I don't care if it's against right-handers or left-handers, Jordan Westburg needs to be higher up in the order. Jordan Westburg takes the best at-bats of any player on this team. He is the most professional hitter on this team. And I want him up there in the first inning, being either a table setter or a guy, driving gunner in. I want to see him in that 2 spot. I want to see him in that 2 spot as a righty bat wedged between a couple of lefties like Gunnar and O'Hearn. I'd move Adley down until Adley starts giving us a reason to move him back up. But if you put Adley, say, right behind O'Neill, move Cowser and Mountie down a spot, Westburg up, Mullins moves down to 8th, Mountie 7th, Colton 6th, O'Neill maybe stays 4th, and then Adley 5th. So you'd go left, right, switch, left, right, left, left. That's pretty nice. That's a nice balanced and alternating lineup there. I like it. And, of course, you got your bench options here. Ramon Laureano, another signing. There's also Dylan Carlson, who has added some depth. Daz Cameron, by the way, was he cleared waivers. The Orioles had to cut Daz Cameron a week ago to make space for another acquisition. He cleared waivers. He has been invited back into camp. I don't really expect him to make an impact, but we've got a lot of depth. We got enough depth now, and I think that's been the main focus of Mike Elias. I think Mike Elias, like me, looks at our core players and says, this is a contending team as is. What we need are complementary players to just make us all around stronger and more balanced. We don't necessarily need to go out like with Anthony Santander. There's so much power up and down this lineup. Once Jackson Holliday figures it out, we know Westberg, if he stayed healthy, he would have been 25-plus home runs. Mountie, we got the wall moved back in. That's going to help him. We know O'Neill can mash. O'Hearn gets his share. Rutschman, if he gets back to his form, those home run totals are going to go up. We've got home runs. We don't really need them. And I bet Robert would probably be happy to not focus on adding more home runs to this team as is. So, yeah, Santander and his 45 home runs are gone. Tyler O'Neill steps in. He's got a higher on-base percentage. I think a guy who has power like Tony, but maybe just, 15% less or something. I think you take that trade-off for a guy that gives you an extra 25 points in on-base percentage. Keep the line moving, We've got enough guys in here to cap off a rally with a 3-run homer. Any of these guys can do it, other than, maybe not Mullins too often. But if Kerstad's in the lineup instead of Mullins, then it is a lineup of 9 dudes that can go yard at any time. That's another thing to talk about, folks. We need to get Kerstad involved, and I think that's another reason why the Orioles moved on from Tony and went with Tyler O'Neill, because in O'Neill, I think they see more of a platoon situation. With Tony, you got to play him every day, and then all the other outfielders are left-handed, so how's Kerstad going to platoon if he's got nothing but left-handers around him? Well, with O'Neill, you can at least say, okay, against maybe one righty starter a week, O'Neill is just going to flat-out sit and let Kerstad be in a 3 left-handed bat outfield with Mullins and Cowser. Then maybe another day a week, Kerstad is your DH, and Mountcastle sits against a right-hander, right? So there's going to be ways for Kerstad to get, I'm hoping he gets 350 to 400 at-bats somehow this season. I hope he does. I hope he gets that opportunity. And I just feel like with O'Neill instead of Santander, it's going to grant Kerstad a better chance at that opportunity. What about a lefty starting pitcher? Yeah, ideally, if we went out and got an ace, it would have been a lefty. Framber Valdez from the Astros. Of all the rumored frontline starters this offseason, Framber is the only one that was a lefty that made me go, ooh, that would be a nice move to go get him. And the Astros, Mike Elias's previous relationship, maybe we can cut a nice deal. But Houston seems to be wavering about what to do with what. They're not going to re-sign Bregman now. He's with the Red Sox, so they're probably going to hold on to Valdez. If they had re-signed Bregman, they might have thought about moving Valdez because they're trying to keep the payroll at a certain, threshold. Oh, said, now you know what to do. You like that? Where is that? We still got it in here.
Folks said, now you know what to do.
That's right. He knows what to do. So let's go into Rock Kabatko's Twitter today. Let's just look at all this information, folks. Keep the questions coming. Talk to me. Talk to me, folks. And you know what? Let's give out another 5. Let's give out 5 more of these. I got to go over here to do it. Here, let me bring me back over here for a sec. All right, so I can engage some behind-the-scenes stuff. So, boom. 5 more super chats. 5 more gifts. Folks, remember, by the way, please hit that like button. I see only 10 people have done it. Surely there's more than 10 of you here. Folks, all right, it's time to take a break from talking about the Orioles for 2 minutes with the loyal people that are here right now. Folks, this channel has a lot of work to do in terms of being able to be around for a long time and establishing itself. When this 2024 season ended, the channel basically went dark. There was no growth. I sat there and just watched the subscriber count kind of, is it up to 26? I probably need to refresh the page. Sorry about that, Bull. I didn't mean to complain, folks. I'm just looking at a page that hasn't been refreshed in a while. But it's still a point that I need to make, which is anything you guys can do to, just remember to hit the like button or maybe share the link to my channel with somebody or anything like that. This is a community. It is a community, like it or not. And the only way we're going to be able to stick around long term is to, get this thing growing. I can only do so much on my end. But, yeah, just something to keep in mind, folks. But did I already hit the thing? Did it happen? Did it go out there? Let me see. Hold on a sec. Did it go out there into the universe? I see that it says in the chat I gifted, but I don't see the names. It's supposed to show me the names. Where are the names? Yeah, you see the graphic there. Yeah, what's that about? But you saw the graphic pop up. I punched it in. That's messed up, YouTube. What are you doing? Trying to hook my peeps up with a perk. What you doing, YouTube? The only way I can confirm it is if I went into my... Why did this turn white? Holy cow. How does anybody work with this background in white? Dark theme. Thank you. I don't know why it switched to light. It only shows 5. Okay, well... Again, I'm going back into the stream right now from another channel as a viewer where that's the only way I can gift something. Let me go back in here. I see the 5 at the top. I go in here, I hit membership gifting. Yeah, it says nicely done. You've gifted all 10 of your memberships that you're allocated this month. So that's pretty messed up. The only way I'm going to be able to know who got gifted, if it's just a glitch that it didn't show up in chat, the names, there is a way to go in and see the memberships, and, I should be able to figure out who got them. Somebody got them, according to whatever. But, okay, let's move on. Right. Yeah, let's take it back on over to this screen here. And... take a look at Rock Kabatko's Twitter feed. Okay. Membership's empty. It's a little extra added something. Who's here that has a membership? Anybody? Yeah. Do you see Chilo? Chilo, do you want to type something in and show your little binocular badge? If you want to be a member and be a official bird watcher, it's really nothing special. It's something to help support the channel. And what I'm asking, I hope, is fair. I think it's $5 a month. If you only want to do it for 1 month, just to donate $5 to help out, you can do that. Or you can just continually, renew your membership. But yeah, I'm going to call every Orioles game for you. I'm going to devote my life to giving you everything I got. And if to you that says, that's worth my $5 a month, yeah, you get a badge and you get some emojis and shout outs and what have you. I think your name turns green. Yeah, so you get a little bit of clout if that's your thing. And look, we've got some new emojis, folks. Look at the Old Bay seasoning. You like it? You can't get more Baltimore than that. That was the coolest thing that I could find. There really isn't a whole lot out there. And I wasn't about to use AI to make AI emojis. I'm very anti-AI. That's a promise I have for you guys on this channel. 2 promises. 1, I'll never take a betting website or whatever as a sponsor. I'm never going to take money from a betting agency. It's not happening on this channel. I'm not promoting that. Okay. Number 2, I already forgot what the hell it was. Whatever I was just talking about. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. That's what happens. All right. Oh, the AI. Yeah. No, there's not going to be anything AI produced on this channel ever. I want this channel to be as old school as possible. I'm trying to walk that balance of embracing the technology that's out there to be able to allow me to do this sort of thing I'm very grateful for it. I love the idea of a community online following the Orioles together and the interactivity that we can do with the technology that we have. It's great, all right? But I also am very, protective about where technology is going, particularly with AI. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And, for another date, we can talk about why. But in general, I don't know if that matters to you or not, but that's just something I'm not going to engage with at all. At all. I want this to be as retro feeling as possible while still being a modern place you go that looks like a professional hangout place. I'm just looking at my own self here. I'm getting lost in the weeds of all these monitors and everything. It's so crazy, guys. A lot of stuff went on this offseason, and a lot of testing, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into this. So, Empty says, I watched you last season. I was Michael in Diecast. Now I'm Empty. Wow, even your avatar is empty. Your channel is definitely worth $5. Did you ever get some cow soy for me? I can't say that I did. But yeah, listen, guys. In terms of helping out the channel, I do my best to not bring it up because it feels gross to do so, but it's also completely necessary. This season 2 of this channel, it is the make or break season. It's going to come down to whether or not this channel picks up where it left off and continues to grow at the same rate. If it does, I should be okay. If it grows even more thanks to the upgrades and just being around a little longer and more new eyes on the channel, that's even better. But if there's some reason this channel just sort of peters out, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past season 2. And all I can tell you is, again, like this is being put together with like duct tape and a pair of needle nose pliers, or what do you call it? I don't know. Like it's barely here. And then I got this green screen now. Like, I am now like I'm in like a space capsule. Like I'm in Sputnik. I am completely surrounded. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to enjoy a Lucky. That's right. In fact, let's take it back over here for a sec. That is part of my where is it? Let me go back over here now. Yeah, look down here. Look at the scroll at the bottom of your screen. BW will be on the air for all televised preseason games. That's right. Unfortunately, as of right now, unless something happened in the last couple of hours, there's still not a TV schedule out. We don't know how many games they're going to televise. They only did about 5 or 6 last spring. But I also was able to cover games that were televised by whatever team they were playing. They play the Pirates like 7 times in the spring, starting with the first game in about, 8 days? 22nd? It's already Valentine's Day here for me, by the way, folks. So please send all your hearts. Like, see what I'm doing? Send me some of your love. And tap that little thing there in your chat. It's Valentine's Day for me over here. Super chat isn't working today. No, don't worry about it, man. Actually, I need to change this to live chat. There we go. I might be missing some stuff. Yeah, just check in again on that poll. Most people say, like me, it's in between a B and a C, but the next best is somewhere between a C and a D. Nobody's saying we did fantastic. Nobody's saying it was a train wreck. Everyone's kind of in a meh area, and I think that's pretty appropriate. Thank you, Janet, and happy Valentine's Day to you and your beau. I hope you guys have a nice romantic evening. Anybody out there with a romantic interest in their life, you guys have fun tonight. And if you're alone, don't worry about it. Oh, wait, it's still the 13th where you are. You got to worry about it tomorrow. Just don't worry about it, all right? All right, so let's get into this. Rock Kubatko, Orioles beat writer. He and Jake Rill are the two go-to guys for Orioles information day in and day out. So he's got a lot of posts today on his Twitter. Let's just run through them real quick. And, we'll address some of these comments as we go. So first, there's your opening photo, day one, the complex at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. Tomoyuki Sugano is wearing number 19. Gary Sanchez will be wearing number 99. Morton, 50. Kittredge, 39. Tyler O'Neill, number 9. Carlson, number 15. Kobe Mayo believes an opportunity will present itself if he has a good camp. Grayson Rodriguez said he was cleared for a normal spring training soon after the season ended. He's good physically. Yeah, all the account. There was some lingering doubt about what Grayson Rodriguez's status would be to start the spring. It looks like all systems go, so that's good news. Daz Cameron has a locker here, assuming he cleared waivers. He did. It's reported later on that he did. And a lot of people reporting early from position players. And the one that stands out to me, it's not on this list, but I saw it on another list. Tyler O'Neill showed up early. Oh, wait, am I not? Oh, sorry. How am I? I need a producer, man. It's so many different things to think about. All right, so I have to go over here and tap it back to. I thought I'd already hit that button. I'm sorry, and then I got to get rid of this again. Okay, so we're looking at this right here, and see, like this is a website where if you try to make it larger, it just sort of. Oh, okay, that does. All right, we'll go with that. Right, thank you, Ms. Janet. You are a help. Everybody, a big thanks.
And I want to thank you very much for that. I really do.
So, yeah, Daz Cameron did clear waivers. He will get an invite to camp. Colton Cowser, Jordan Westberg joins the list of those that report. I mean, folks, pretty much the entire team, just a handful of position players that did not report early. This team wants to get back and gel and get that camaraderie going. They're ready to play. I know this team is hungry. Because you got to remember, a lot more than a lot of teams out there. There's a core group of players in this team that have been playing together since like the minors and coming up through this Orioles system. I mean, the time is now. And they know. You know that they know how the last two postseasons have gone. This team has averaged 96 wins the last 2 years and can't win a postseason game. We know that is the monkey on our back. That is the scarlet letter we got to wear until we get back to October. So this team, as important as anything, is the attitude, the team attitude, the confidence, the swagger. One thing I really want to see that I felt fell away from this team last season is aggressive base running. 2023, we won 101 games with Kyle Gibson as our opening day starter. There was no Corbin Burns. Kyle Bradish emerged as an ace, but we didn't know that he would do that when 2023 started. And yet, look at how that team put up 101 wins. This is a 100-win team when everything's working right. We've already seen it happen, and if anything, they should be better. If they're in the right frame of mind and their mechanics, like again, Jackson Holliday. Let's just go player by player. How about that? We're gonna come back. Let's go back to that list here. Let's just go to every player and say what, if anything, needs to be worked on in the spring. Gunnar Henderson. Again, I would say my number one thing for Gunnar is that I'd like to see him more aggressive on the bases. And again, I'm talking about as an offensive player. Gunnar, obviously, we'd like to see him maybe get a little more stable defensively. He's not terrible, but it seemed he had one particular stretch last year where, like, over the course of like a week, he made like an error every game on average. He had the yips. It was really tough. But yeah, with Gunnar offensively, the guy's one of the top hitters in the league. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know how to make him better, but I do know that I would prefer him to go back to the 2023 Gunnar in terms of base running aggressiveness. That seemed to drop off last season. BW, do you think we need a more aggressive manager? I mean, Empty, can you just... I'm not trying to deflect your question, but can you give me a little more of an understanding as to what you think aggressive is? Because I'm not sure. Again, I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but give me an idea, like what you mean. Adley Rutschman, folks, uppercut swing. Let's just say that phrase. You remember it from last season? We know Adley had a mechanical issue, and we don't know if it was injury related or not, because defensively we saw struggles as well. He was not as sharp defensively last season. Will Rutschman get back to 2023? I tell you right now, though, the uppercut swing thing, they got to figure that out post haste, right? Ryan O'Hearn, I really don't have anything to say about Ryan O'Hearn, and that's probably why he's slated to hit third in our lineup. He's got a good plate approach. He can draw some walks. I mean, obviously, he's not fantastic against lefties, but we've got a lineup where we don't mind sitting him against lefties, so that's fine. Tyler O'Neill. Now with O'Neill, I'd like to. I know what we're getting with Tyler O'Neill. We're getting a guy that's going to strike out a lot. He's going to strike out a lot, folks. You're not going to like that. You're not going to like seeing a guy strike out 150, 175 times, because he's going to. Okay, and that's not even playing like every game. That's like in 120 games, he would do that. But what matters the most is that slugging percentage. And, is this guy, when he's putting the ball in play, is he hitting the crap out of it? And the answer is, for the most part, yes. This guy doesn't make a whole lot of weak contact. It's very much boom or bust with Tyler O'Neill. And I'm okay with that. As long as you can reach those figures, if you're putting up the extra base hits, it'd be nice if they came in clutch situations, not, garbage time situations. Some players, that seems to be an issue for them. But yeah, I'm not going to say you got to cut down on the strikeouts, but I'll tell you who does need to. Let's go on to the next name, which is Colton Cowser. Cowser, look, the guy was a runner-up for Rookie of the Year, so obviously we've got a nice talent on our hands, a good young hitter, and he's got a ceiling that he hasn't even hit yet. But when he's on, we can see how he's like an all-star caliber player. But, man, did he have problems striking out, especially in the second half last season when, as a team, collectively, we were struggling. They tried to move him to the top of the order. It was working well at first. But there came a point where he was wildly swinging, and it felt like every time it was he was taking called strikes threes and swinging at pitches out of the zone for strike three. It was out of whack. Ryan Mountcastle. All right, this is easy. Baltimore is no more, and nobody had more home runs taken away than you. So guess what, buddy? It's time to get those home run numbers up. 25 at least. Okay, you're a first baseman, and when you square baseball up, you can hit it pretty damn far, especially when you're in Toronto. Let's get that going. Is on the manager? Well, then put it on the manager. Either way, that's what I need to see from Gunnar. I mean, we can talk about what Brandon Hyde needs to do, right, Sleister? But, yeah, I'm just talking about what I would like to see. Mullins, again, we know his offense isn't his strong suit, but when the team was struggling in the second half last season, he actually, he picked up a lot of weight for other guys that weren't doing much. This is going to be the last year of his contract with the Orioles, and I don't see him getting re-signed. I'm not saying it's impossible, but with the young talent coming up, particularly Enrique Bradfield Jr., I mean, he just seems like a natural replacement. Left-handed bat, center fielder, speedy, contact hitter. He's next in the pipeline, and he's projected to probably be major league ready for 2026. So it lines up perfectly that Mullins is your primary center fielder, in his last season here, and then maybe even starts to get phased out in the second half if Bradfield gets called up, if there's an injury somewhere, or if Mullins is just very, very ineffective at the plate. We might shift Cowser into center field and just allow Tyler O'Neill and Kjerstad to play every day on the corners. That's not a terrible situation. But yeah, said Mullins, give us that speed, give us that great range in the outfield when you're out there, and you're gonna do what we need you to do. Jordan Westburg, folks. Again, I can't sit here and try to critique a player that has the best plate approach of anybody on the team. Jordan Westburg, do your thing. That's my advice. And finally, Jackson Holliday. It's that leg kick, dude. It's the leg kick. The high leg lift, you're getting blown away by fastballs. You're getting blown away, dude. Just simplify the approach, and I'll say this: you don't need any more weight training. Okay, your biceps are jacked enough. All right, and we got Tyler O'Neill already, who people will say, part of the reason he gets injured a lot is because he's one of these weight training guys, and people who are too muscular, they are more prone to getting injured, and that's true. We already know Holliday can hit the crap out of the ball. What do we need him to do? Hit it 500 feet instead of 450? I mean, come on. So, yes, while I'm very impressed with how he looks like the latest Marvel superhero, it's not necessary. All right, so let's... Jorge Mateo and Trevor Rogers won't be ready for opening day. Rogers injured right kneecap. Yeah, he's got like a dislocated kneecap. It happened in January, and we're only hearing about it now. But if you're an Orioles fan, are you honestly really concerned that Trevor Rogers won't be ready for opening day? Does anybody envision a scenario where he's making the team anyway? And is anybody excited about whenever we call him up? I think the answer to all that is no. Look, Trevor Rogers, there's some talent that's in there. If we can find it in him, fine. But he's just a guy in the organization that I don't even care about until he figures something out. Mateo, on the other hand, yes, he's not going to be ready for opening day, and that's probably going to be a reason why we're going to carry an additional outfielder to start the season. It's probably only going to be Ramon Arias backing up the infield if we're going to assume Ryan O'Hearn and Ryan Mountcastle are DHing and first basing most days, alternating there. I guess against lefties, O'Hearn sits and Mountie plays first and Sanchez DHs. Or Adley DHs and Sanchez catches, so Adley gets a bit of a rest from behind the plate. So, yeah, there's some things to do against lefties. But, yeah, Mateo, he is with the team. He is training. He just needs more time to be major league ready, particularly when it comes to hitting the baseball. I'm sure he's ready to field. The arm is fully healed. He's just got to get reps. He's got to get reps. Sugano is not with the team yet today, but it's not a big deal. Just a visa issue. International players, this happens all the time. I don't know why it happens so often, but it does. International players being held up with a visa issue when they're doing their transition to their new team. But the additional info I heard about that is that we're talking like a couple of days at most. Yeah, traveling later this week is what Kabatko's saying. So, yeah, it's nothing lost there. And then Zach Eflin, congratulations. His wife had a baby boy. He is a proud father of a new child. Felix Bautista, folks. I mean, come on. Where's the... Come on, splash it up. I gotta get a mountain sound effect of some sort in here, right? I'll tell you this. Felix Bautista is back. That is... You can't underestimate that, folks. That is like adding a top-of-the-line closer that you didn't have last year. Oh, it's fantastic. He's feeling great. Throwing in the pin, should be ready opening day. There hasn't been any setbacks, folks. The only thing with Bautista is that they're saying when the season starts, don't expect him to be at 100% to where he's closing back-to-back days or 3 days out of 5 or something like that. He's going to need a little bit of help in the first month or so to get back to, get that endurance all the way back. But, hey, that's okay. Asked about the roster, Elias said he's still on the phone, but this is a group they're ready to take into the season. So, again, that's something I was saying earlier. So, that really doesn't tell me that they're giving up on looking to trade for a frontline starting pitcher. But when you do look at the roster the way it is right now, it does look like a team that is just going to go with what they got. But again, you can never have too much starting pitching. Right now, we've got 5 set people in a rotation. Albert Suarez, your long man, and Cade Povich will start in AAA. But we know over the course of a season, you need more than 5 arms for a rotation. Stuff happens, right? So if we went out there and got an ace, and we're sitting here worried about, well, where is this pitcher going to slot in? That's a problem you want, okay? So I still hope the Orioles are trying their best to get that ace because and if we don't get it until July, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, going into Game 1 of a postseason series, especially the way things have gone the last 2 seasons, nothing is more important for this team than to have the best possible starting pitcher on that mound for Game 1 to give us our best shot at winning that game and not only win that series, but again, just get that monkey off our back and get us confident that we can indeed make a postseason run. Elias said Kjerstad has earned the right to get a lot of at-bats in corner outfield and at DH. Doesn't need to tear the cover off the ball now. So basically, that's saying that Kjerstad isn't really playing for a spot in the roster. He is, other than an injury or some mechanical failure, he will definitely make the opening day roster. And depending on who we face, if it's Toronto, I'm assuming we're going to face a right-hander like a Gossman. He might even be in the opening day lineup. I don't know. I think that's the biggest question about our opening day lineup in the spring is like, do we want Mullins in center with Cowser in the corner and Kjerstad on the bench? Or is Cowser playing a good enough center field? With the left field wall now moved in, Cowser is like a center fielder playing in left field with that giant left field that we had. But now that that's been moved in, Tyler O'Neill can handle left field. Cowser can move to right and take advantage of a stronger arm. But Cowser can also handle center, I feel. If you got Cowser in center with O'Neill and Kjerstad on the corners, I'm okay with that now with the wall being moved back in. I would definitely put Kjerstad in right field still, though, and just have the help of that scoreboard in a smaller field and put O'Neill in left. Moving on. Again, folks, if you got questions or comments that you want me to read out loud, put a question mark there or maybe some kind of emoji to let me know. My vision stinks. Where are my glasses? I might need a Lucky. What time is it? It's already after 9. We've been here an hour and 15 minutes. Folks, we're probably going to do 2 hours. I'm going to talk for another 45 minutes, and I'm still not going to get to all the things I want to talk about because there's so much to talk about. But, hey, let's take a break and look at a little bit of footage. Roll that beautiful bean footage, folks. In the foreground, you're looking at Cade Povich. In the middle there, you got Sir Anthony Dominguez, and way down there in the white uniform with the high black socks, that is Kittredge. That's Andrew Kittredge throwing his first bullpen session as a Baltimore Oriole. You can see they got some cameras set up and everything. They're going to evaluate their mechanics, and they're getting to work. So nice to see that. Typical Florida sky with those puffy, low-hanging clouds. You love to see it, folks. Speaking of love to see, there is our man Mateo, and he's kept himself in very good shape. I mean, look at this Adonis right here. This man is going to be ready relatively soon. I think it makes sense because Mateo doesn't have options. So if you put him on the DL, it's sort of like stashing him and giving him a chance to get a little bit ready. You can send him like on a rehab assignment. You can, and again, that'll give us a chance to get a look at the roster as it is without him and the addition of a guy like Laureano, how he'll fit in. You know, we'll have to figure out where we're going to trim the fat to add Mateo back in, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, my desktop background just changed by itself. That's something I might need to get a set. Oh, do we have a question? Oh, sorry. Question up above. What is it? Oh, does Jackson still count as a rookie? I don't think so. We can just Google that question. It'll probably tell us. Let me ask in 2025. Oh, look, there you go. I want to say he's not. I thought I'd looked this up already. Geez. Nobody's giving me like a concrete answer. I'm pretty sure he passed the threshold. I'm pretty sure he's not technically a rookie anymore. Maybe somebody else in the chat knows. Sorry about not giving you a definitive answer, but my gut is he is not technically a rookie anymore. Too many at-bats. Will the hat be back? The hat. You people, I tell you what. If it ain't one thing. You damn right. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Come on, people. And by playing that entire track, I probably just got demonetized. Great. Oh, by the way, have you guys been seeing ads? I don't even know. If you have, sorry if this is something that doesn't feel ad-worthy. Of course, Chilo, the hat will always be around, okay? If the hat's not here, something is wrong. Assistant GM, the hat. The hat is back. Sagano's already on a plane. Thank you, Stanley. So there you go. Sagano's on a plane apparently right now. I'll go back to Rock's Twitter page, and again, we're scrolling the timeline from early this morning. A lot happened today, and we're just going through it piece by piece. Again, we saw this image already. Jackson Holliday's by again, dude. You're fine, dude. You're fine. Work on your plate approach, and the weight training can take a break. Okay. Mateo and Rogers won't be ready for opening day. That's just a little bit of a fine point on what we already talked about. Trevor Rogers said the knee dislocation lasted about a second and popped back into place, so it's not really serious. Was throwing on turf last month. Blah, 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 blah. Throwing a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That's not very impressive, to be honest. But, again, Trevor Rogers. A lot, because I would always beat him playing chess. Mateo on how much he'll miss Anthony Santander. Man, that sucks. I'm going to miss Tony, and it's going to be tough, man. Opening day, seeing him play for an opponent in our division, that's going to be tough. But I'm wishing Tony success. I just hope it's not at our expense. Mateo said his brace came off his elbow 3 months ago. He hasn't given up on opening day, but they already said, Elias has made it pretty clear that Mateo will not be ready for opening day, but he'll probably be like on a rehab assignment within a week or two of opening day. And maybe mid-April we'll be ready, mid to late April. Tyler Wells is playing catch, says his elbow feels great. No timetable to return. Although I did hear something, it may not be a concrete timetable, but the conventional wisdom was that his timetable was pretty close to Bradish's, which is to say somewhere around the All-Star break, post-All-Star break. So mid-late July, something like that. So it'll be a few months before we even get an update probably on Wells. This is just posting some of his links to his write-ups. Daz Cameron cleared waivers. We talked about that. Sagano, there you go. On a plane to America, to Florida, with, I guess somebody farted on the plane. What is this? I don't know. Oh, this is Sagano himself. Hey, I'll follow you, Tony. Oh, Tomo. We got to come up with some new nicknames for some of our new players, folks. And remember, until they do us dirty, we embrace all of our new players. I don't want anybody being down on Tyler O'Neill because he's an inferior replacement to Tony. I don't want anybody going, Gary Sanchez, this guy's an overpaid backup catcher. What are we doing? Like, let's give everybody a shot, all right? Let's give Elias the benefit of the doubt that he's put together. Sugar Shigano? Yeah, because it's Shigano, right? I want to ask about that, Benny Jets. Can anybody confirm this? Because I've heard Sugano and I've heard Shugano. Is it like a silent H in there, like sugar? Sugar Shigano is perfect. Is that correct? I know I've got a lag. Oh, you know what I'll get? I'll get a little sample from Sugar. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, honey, honey. Oh, perfect. It's like 4 seconds. All right, so sugar is taken care of. Or maybe something like, give me some sugar. Give me some of that sugar. Although, to be honest, most of these sound clips, they're for position players. I don't really have ones for pitchers. Never did last year. I didn't have a Corbin Burns sound effect, But anyway, Gary Sanchez is going to need one. Tyler O'Neill. I'm thinking Popeye. I'm probably just going to go with a classic, or, well, blow me down, or something like that. Or him blowing on the pipe. That seems pretty easy, especially now that I've already got the emojis in there, the Popeye emojis. Pour some sugar on me? Oh, that's pretty good, Chilo. Yeah, I think that might be short enough where it's not going to be a copyright. It's almost like, oh, ho, ho, it's magic. It's about the same. Pour some sugar on me. Yeah, you know what? I love it. Although, actually, now I'm visualizing pouring sugar on myself. I don't know. Now I feel weird. Morton Steaks. Oh, I love it. I bet you I can find a clip of somebody saying something like, that's a damn fine steak. That's a damn fine cut of steak. Oh, salt. Oh, that's right. Morton Salt. Of course. What if I had like a super loud like salt shaker sound effect? Like, or will that sound too much like the sprinkler we already have? I don't know. What's the sprinkler sound like? That almost sounds like a salt shaker. I don't know. All right, we're coming up with ideas. His nickname is apparently Tommy Sugar. Okay, well, Tommy Sugar it is. And I do believe it is Shigano and not Sugano. It's not a hard U. There's like a silent H. I just didn't want to start saying Shigano when I've seen so many other people out there refer to him as Sagano and look like the stuffy, oh, look at this guy trying to... Like, I got flack for pronouncing Isaac Paredes Sugano. Sugano. No, so there's no H. So there's no H. Well, then why sugar? Shigano sugar. That's oh yeah, we're adding a bunch of like tabletop spices and what have you there, right? Sugar, salt. We got any pepper? We got somebody who can be the pepper for this team. No salts like Morton salts. Again, though, folks, with pitchers, how often am I going to be able to, I mean, the pitcher is just like, oh, you just struck somebody out? That's your sound effect, right? I'll have one for the mountain. A closer deserves a button, right? And right now we only have close the door.
Close the door.
But if we're going to have the mountain back, we need a mountain-related closing button, okay? Sugar, salt, mayo, milk. Wow, we're making a cake. All right. What else we got? There's other stuff to talk about. You know what I need? I need a lucky. I think I need a lucky. We're going to take this another half hour. Folks, get your questions up. Oh, you know what I did? If I go into my, I got to close some of these tabs. Things are getting a little crazy. No, we're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. Hey, who saw the Super Bowl halftime or the Super Bowl commercial where Seal played a seal? Man, these Super Bowl ads are getting more and more clever with each passing year. I tell you what. It is fascinating. The level of creativity on display. Seal as a seal. Folks, do you get it? Yeah, I need a lucky, I think. So, hold on a sec. What do I think of the left field wall being changed again? I actually liked having the giant left field. I liked having a ballpark advantage, or, like something that was an oddity that you could sort of build your team to, take advantage of, while other teams are sort of, again, like we built a team over the last couple of years with a lot of left-handed bats with that left field wall moved back with the idea that our power would come mostly from the left side, and you got all those big right-handed sluggers as opponents coming in and getting cheap home runs in a short left field porch. Let's move the wall back. I thought it was a good idea, even though the stats said that the Orioles themselves had more home runs swallowed up because of that wall than opponents did. I still think, again, it's also a defensive situation. Most corner outfielders aren't as defensively sound as Colton Cowser. You put your best outfielder in center field, and that left field, when it was that big, it was like a center field. You needed a center field caliber player to manage that. Anybody remember Verdugo out there in left last year? I remember specifically one game where Kerstead got a start in left in Baltimore, and a ball hit his way, and it was so misplayed, and he was just running around out there like a chicken with his head cut off. Please tell me we traded Melanie Newman to another team. I have not heard anything about that, but that's why you have me, guys, right? You're going to be watching the game with the sound down. You never have to hear her ever again. All right? Just me. Just me. That's the idea. I need a lucky. Hey, watch as I do this magical thing. You know what? I'm gonna. Where am I? All right. I'm going to. Where am I? All right. I've disappeared for a sec. Just give me a sec. Here's hold music, so I'm still here. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Folks, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. Now we are having fun. All right, come on back. All right, so what else to look at here? Do we want to look back at here? What's jumping out at me right now? Who's going to the Splash Zone opening day? You mean opening day at the ballpark? I wish I could be there. BW, do you remember Wild Bill Hagee? Of course. We need someone like that. Dude, who do you think you're talking to, man? I'm wild. I'm crazy. I'm what they call guano loco, okay? That is Spanish for batshit crazy. You're going to enjoy it. JJ, folks, say hi to JJ. Season 2, Electric Boogaloo, Electric Birdaloo. How about that, huh? Hey, take a look here, JJ. Here's me over here. I'm over here now. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I still got the hat on. I don't know. The hat needs a rest. The hat's got a long way to go to October, you know? The hat has magic in it, but it's not infinite magic. It needs to, it's like the substance, you know? Every 7 days I have to switch, okay? Every 7 days I'm switching. And then the hat takes over. And it's been a great relationship with me and the hat. So here's this, JJ, and then, you know, when the game's on, we turn it back over here. Now suddenly I'm looking over here now. Now I'm over here. And it's like one dog's looking this way, one dog's looking that way, and the other one's like, what do you want from me? All right? So JJ's in the house. Hey, you've got your BirdWatcher badge as well. Fantastic. Yeah, this is all OBS. Guess what, folks? I ain't paying for nothing. Got everything in here on the free. For the most, yeah. The equipment, money. The software, free. But there's still some things to work on. The out-of-town ticker, I got to figure out how to get that incorporated. And a couple of other things. The sub count, for some reason, was showing up, and now it's not. I got to figure out why that is. But for the most part, we've got the main stuff in place. Oh, yeah, he remembers. Whoops. That's not it.
His name's Gunner, and he's dating my mom.
It's not a multimedia empire. I just want this channel. I want to call Oriole Games. I want to give you coverage as much as I can, give you my input, be a voice, be, you know, an independent voice for the Orioles. Dedicated. That's what you're going to get, dedication. Let me say this, by the way. This is probably something for people that are here that you should know. The probability of me calling all 162 games like I did last season, which I think in itself is a miracle considering what I was using for, you know, to make the channel go, and not even broadcasting in HD quality and so many other things. I've lost my train of thought. The reason why I heard I think I heard somebody in the hallway, and I think it might be the house lady, and I'm smoking in my room right now, and I shouldn't be. I've just sort of completely abandoned that rule because everybody in this building smokes weed. So the whole building smells like weed. Like, so what's a little tobacco smell? Like, you know, leave me alone. What's going on in chat? I can't see the chat. Masson has nothing on the BirdWatcher. Oh, yeah, JJ, one of the things that hasn't been addressed yet and may not even be able to get done this season is, like, introducing a vertical stream. That's going to take some work with a buddy of mine, but that's probably not going to happen in time for opening day. We'll see. Enjoyed me covering Ravens and Commanders. Yeah, how about, you know, obviously the Ravens disappointing in terms of, you know, they've got a team that feels like a Super Bowl contender year in and year out with Lamar Jackson and and the crew. But it was really nice to see Washington. You know, I grew up, you know, where they were the team that you rooted for if you lived in Maryland, because the Colts weren't around and the Ravens didn't exist. And it was just really sad to see that team turn into a joke, laughingstock for decades. I just had to I had to like say, I've got irreconcilable differences with this franchise. I'm walking away, but the owner's gone. I'm willing to turn the other cheek. And wow, Jaden Daniels, fantastic stuff. But that's football. All right, let's. What do we got? You don't think you're doing the vertical streams? Not too fond of it. I mean, you know what? Like, even ethically, I don't know if I like the idea of people dedicated to watching like a 3-hour stream with a phone in their hand. Folks, don't hold any device in your hand for that long. Don't look at your phone for that long. Have it playing on a laptop or run it through your TV. You know, give yourself some distance from all these electronics. I've got too much around me right now. This is probably going to give me an aneurysm someday. But, yeah, horizontal definitely better than vertical. It's simply an alternative for people that want to watch on their phone. It's just, you know, it's just, you know, if it's something I can do to make it a better experience for some people, then I'm more than happy to do it. It's just something I don't think I'm going to be able to do in time for the start of the season. We'll see. By the way, my glasses, it's just, I'm so upset because, let me tell you something. I can't, yeah, it's just constantly smudged. I've never had a pair of glasses like this where you go and you just rub your shirt and try and clear them up, but it's just perpetually smudged. It's awful. I just see like splotches right in front of my eyeball. It makes it hard to read. Nobody wants to hear this. Okay. Sorry. I got to remember that this channel is different than my other channel where I just sit there and say whatever the hell is on my mind. This one needs to be a little more focused, right? But it is the first stream back. We're chilling. But anyway, what else is there to talk about? Let's bring it back to this screen over here and take a look if there's anything else information to take in. I can go over to Jake Rill's account and see if Jake's got anything additional to add. Gunnar Henderson breaks into the top 10 of MLB Network's top 100. All right, so the top 100 just got released apparently in the past hour. MLB's top 100 that they put out right before the start, or right when spring training starts. So we have a top 10 player in all of Major League Baseball. I guess that's nice. Rill is confirming Sagano's on his way. Well, why don't we dip into his mailbag and see what they're talking about? Well, we don't want to see this. Oh, I didn't know it was a short. No, I'm looking for print. Grayson says he thinks that it's something he's ready for. I mean, there's no other way to answer that question. And someone's going to ask you, do you think you're ready to be the ace for the team? Of course you say, I think I'm ready for that. Yeah, I mean, if you don't, then, hey, here's Janet's favorite. Why don't I follow Melanie? How come I don't? Orioles fan therapy? What is this about? I thought I was your therapy, folks. Yeah, it looks like Jake's pretty much just going over the same talking points that Rock Kabatko did. Here's another nice photo I haven't seen yet. There's Sed. Chilling. Does she? Hey, speaking of she sucks, where's Melanie? Is she going to be back in time, or is she currently down in Sarasota right now trying to score a date with one of the players? I'm not saying she sucks as a person. I'm saying, you know what I mean. I'm being a little naughty. This is a running gag from last year. Yeah, so we're even getting the same Mateo quote. This is all redundant. This is redundant. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to carry us to a 2-hour show. I'm trying. Let me just relax. Let me just think. Oh, right. I guess. All right. So, a main thing to watch out for, folks, is the second. All right. I'm backtracking already. First things first. Starting from tonight, for the next 6 weeks with the spring schedule, I plan on doing a live stream mostly every day. Obviously, if there's a televised game, I'm going to do a stream and cover the entire game start to finish. I might even, depending on what kind of information screen, have a sort of a watch party where we're only getting like animated graphic information about the results and not seeing it. So I can't necessarily call it, but we can sort of talk about it. But look, on days where there's not a game to call or sort of react to, I'll probably come on for about 15, 20 minutes just to go over, the information and the news of the day. Because I got a feeling every day we're probably going to have about 15 to 20 minutes or maybe about 5 to 10 minutes of stuff to go over. And then another 10 minutes where we can, if anyone's here, have a discussion about whatever those things are. So this is a channel that is stepping up. It's going to give you more content than before, more information than before, and hopefully just an overall more enjoyable experience. But again, do keep in mind it's under construction. Spring training is not just for the players; it's for me. I gotta get used to some things. There's probably going to be some settings that once it goes wrong a first time, I'm going to be like, well, how do I fix that? Like I learned how to do it, but I never learned how to fix it. And now I got to learn that. So yeah, there's going to be some learning, growing pains. Is that the expression? BW, can you talk about the division as a whole and how their off seasons and how you think the standings will go? All right. I mean, if you want me to predict the standings, this is based on the rosters as they are right now. I honestly think the Orioles are a first-place team. I think we're better than the Yankees. I think we would have finished first place last year if the offense just didn't have whatever the hell happened to them. But that's the number one thing. If our offense is still stuck in whatever that rut was in the second half last season, then no, we're not winning the division. But I believe that we will fix that problem. And there's just too much talent there. We've got new hitting coaches. They have to know. They've had the entire offseason to look back at what went wrong. We know particular players like Jackson Holliday mechanically what's going wrong, and that's going to get addressed. So you look at the core talent we have. You look at the additions that are more, again, it's not necessarily big name players that are going to grab the headlines, but they're complementary players to a team that's already very, very good, a team that's won 96 wins on average the last 2 years. And I think it would have been closer to 98 to 100 the last 2 years on average. Again, if our team didn't hit that weird, unable to figure out how to move runners over, how to do anything. That all has to get fixed. What's JJ saying? Again, I can't read. So yeah, the Orioles first. I think the Yankees finish in second place. I don't think it's gonna, I think it's gonna be a pretty tight race. I don't think, even if the Yankees were to take first, I don't think either team is gonna be more than 3 games better than the other. I think it's gonna be pretty tight. I'm gonna say Orioles with about 95 wins and the Yankees 93 wins. I think that's my prediction. I think the Red Sox and the Blue Jays are going to battle it out for third place. With the Red Sox, I think with that Bregman addition, the fact that they've got Crochet and Walker Buehler added to that rotation, they got some young players that should get a little bit better than last year. They got a guy like Willie Abreu who won a Gold Glove for them in right field. I mean, their team as a whole defensively that's their biggest issue. Their defense was pretty much trash outside of Willie Abreu in right field. Will Bregman help that by being a second baseman? I'm not sure. Devers is still a bit of a liability defensively at third, although his errors did go down last year. He's still below average. I mean, he's not going to suddenly become a great defensive third baseman. They were looking for ways to try to move him to first and maybe trade Tristan Casas away. But either way, if I had to make a pick, I'd probably give the Red Sox the slight edge. Just because, I don't know, I just think that the players that they added, they're a lot more significant. I mean, Santander is a big ad for Toronto. They've got a couple of other nice pieces. And obviously, if Bo Bichette can return to the form that he showed before last year's sort of drop-off, a couple of other players step up. But I look at the lineup with Toronto. It doesn't scare me as much. Their rotation's pretty good. Probably, actually, overall on par with ours, if not maybe even a little bit better when you consider their ace versus our ace. But yeah, I'm going to put the Red Sox at about 85 wins. I'm going to put the Blue Jays right at 82. And then I'm going to put the Rays. Somebody's got to lose. They're still, they're not going to be trash, but they're going to be in a tough division with four other teams that I'm predicting to have winning records. So I'm probably going to put them at about 75 wins, 74, 75 wins. That's my prediction. I hope that helps. But what does that mean? Anything? Probably not. But that's my honest, it's as much as I love my Orioles, and even though I'm saying I think they'll finish first, that's my honest, as unbiased as I can be, point of view. Were there any other questions snuck in there? Getting into shape. I'm so not in shape. Folks, man, once you get into your late 40s, you get old, like your aging, it speeds up. I swear. What a drop-off. We need to win a World Series before I turn 50. I tell you what, because I'm going to be a mess. It's on Sunday, July 13th. Again, we can talk about it later, but I think it would be sick to cover the MLB draft with you and some other content creators. I wouldn't mind being a part of that, but I got to admit, when it comes to scouting, college talent and all that stuff, I don't have any information beyond what's out there for anybody else at their fingertips. I don't have I'm not a scout. I can't sit there and break down what a player is going to bring to you. But yeah, round as a shape. Janet, jeez, folks, you got to understand. I'm self-conscious. All right, I'm really on the screen now. And yeah, my man boobs are probably showing up. This stinks. But look, I had an opportunity to go to the barber and get a nice clean cut shave. And you know what I said? I'm like, nah, I don't want to mislead people. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, microphone has gone crazy. Why is it so loud? Why is it peaking? Hold on. I'm making an adjustment right now. Wow, the microphone was really peaking there. I didn't notice it until now. Have I been distorted this whole time? This is just another one. Ah, gosh. There's so many things you have to keep track of. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle all this. I need an assistant, man. Okay, so it did just peak? Okay, so it just happened. I wasn't sitting here. Okay. Well, how about now? Because I lowered it a little bit. Is it too low, or can you adjust? Is it still okay? I'm going to just check myself. Is it still okay? I'm going to just check myself. All right, that sounds okay. All right. Just when I change screen. Yeah, that might happen. Sometimes I open the Discord, the microphone will get weird. It just gets weird. Okay, thanks, guys. Where were we? Where the hell were we? Oh, yeah. So we were talking about how I think the division will go. Yeah, there you go. That's how I think the division will go. Oh, here's something to talk about. And I'm going to open the Discord, and do let me know if the microphone changes, because I'm just going to take this straight from the write-up I wrote on the main page here. Oh, we've got some new... we've got Stanks joining the Discord. Hey, folks, if you want to pop up that link again, feel free. Or I could... It's still the same link, right? Folks, feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. It's free. It's a place to talk Orioles stuff when the channel's not live. Post-game shows. JJ, I mean, it depends on what you consider a post-game show. I'm not the sort of person that on the last out cuts the stream within like 90 seconds. I usually go over the box score, look at the pitching matchup for the next game, stuff like that. But yeah, phone calls would be fantastic. That would be the dream, is to be able to have like a call-in after post-game show. But I just got to see how it works with the Discord, because we've done it before. I've had a couple of people talk before. It can work, but we'll play it by ear. But yeah, that would be great. There will be a post-game wrap-up. If it's 10 minutes one night, maybe 20 minutes another night, something like that. But I don't think I'm going to make like a separate like event or video for the post-game. Like I know the Yankee guy does that. Maybe that helps with his numbers or whatever. But no, it's all just going to be on one stream. I ain't worried about that. All right. Yeah, there was some interesting things like Roansy Contreras is a pitcher the Orioles currently have in their system. This guy was a Cardinal when the offseason began, and then the Cardinals waived him. The Orioles made a waiver claim, picked him up, so he was an Oriole like a month and a half ago or something, a month ago, and after a week, then we cut him to see if he'd clear waivers. He didn't clear waivers. The Yankees then claimed Roansy Contreras, and he was a Yankee for about a week. And then the Yankees cut him. He went back to waivers, and guess who claimed him? Us. Again. So in the span of about 5 weeks, Roansy Contreras has been a Cardinal, an Oriole, a Yankee, and an Oriole again. Talk about a busy offseason. Will we ever even see him pitch for us? I don't know, but I found that to be pretty interesting. Luis Vasquez, an infielder we brought in, is another acquisition. Again, that's just depth. There's really not a whole lot of upside or, high ceiling with a guy like that. But, I appreciate the depth. I think if there's one thing the Dodgers have made clear to the rest of the league, we can't all match the payroll of the Dodgers, although we actually kind of can. I mean, if we look at our owners and look at their billions of dollars, they can put a Dodgers-type payroll out there. They just don't want to. But that's sort of a universally, like these owners, they're trying to, Anyway, point being, do I have a point? I forgot where I started. This is so rough. I honestly forgot what my point was. BW, if you want to be like Wild Bill, you need to drink more beer. I don't go with beer empty. I'm a cider guy, and I always go with the Dickens brand. Nobody makes a better drink than Dickens cider. And you can quote me on that. So hopefully that'll fill the void for you. Hopefully a Dickens cider will fill anybody's void. See what I did there? This is where you laugh. Expectations for Kobe Mayo this year. Well, it's constantly changing because it all depends on Ryan Mountcastle, and if we were to put him into a trade to get that starter we're looking for, then there's your Kobe Mayo path, which is basically he takes Ryan Mountcastle's place. He platoons somewhat at first base and DHs, and probably sees a lot more against righties, against lefty starters and against righties. But as the team is right now, Kobe Mayo is highly unlikely to make the opening day team. So he's going to start, he did not impress at all in his cup of coffee last year. So he's got to get the confidence back. That's what this spring is going to be all about for Mayo. Mayo, for me, is probably, other than Bautista and making sure that he looks right, Kobe Mayo and how he's looking, and Jackson Holiday with those mechanics. Those are the big things I'm looking out for. Sagano as well. Sagano is, I guess I got a lot of things. But those are the four main things. Is Sagano going to show us something? He's not going to blow us away with velocity, but once he starts getting into live action, are we going to see that sort of command and like a pitcher's pitcher kind of a guy? I want to see Holiday's swing simplified a little more and just utilize that natural power that he has. And he can barrel up a baseball. He's got a very good eye. But yeah, Kobe Mayo is the one where it's like, dude, you really had a bad first call up. I mean, Jackson had a bad original call up, but at least when he came back, he was showing what he can be. We haven't seen what Mayo can be yet at all at a major league level. This is the year to at least try to work him in a little more than just a cup of coffee, but he's got to convince the team that it's ready to call me back up. We'll see. I just don't know how many at bats he's going to get, JJ. If he really rakes in the spring, they'll figure out a way. Maybe that'll push him to make a trade that they wouldn't have otherwise done to get Mountcastle out of the picture and open up that spot. But another thing you could think of is that Mayo does need some more seasoning. If he doesn't look right in the spring, then you put him in the minors for a couple of months. Then you're getting around that All-Star break, and then you're looking at making a deal. Maybe you can trade Mountcastle away there then or something. I don't know. So there may not be a spot really for Mayo yet, but maybe by the All-Star break there will be. That would be my best guess. Last question. What are you looking for from Hyde this year? The same thing I'm looking for last year, JJ. A competent manager in October. I got no problems really with the way Brandon Hyde overall manages his team. I do, in game-to-game scenarios, question some of his bullpen moves, the timing and what have you. But I think every Oriole fan out there will agree with me that the number one thing we want from Brandon Hyde is to show us that you can manage a team to win in the playoffs. Like, does he have to get to the World Series in order to keep his job? No. Do we have to win a playoff series? I think so. Like, one win in a series that we lose is still an improvement from the last two seasons, but I don't think that's enough to say we should still stick with Hyde. I think if we get to October and if we don't win whatever our first round postseason series is, I think that's it for Brandon Hyde. I think you have a legitimate reason to say thank you for all the work you've done to help this young team build and gel and into the team that they are. And we're a good regular season team. 96 wins on average last 2 years. In the early window of this rebuild, like nobody was expecting 101 wins 2 years ago. We surpassed expectations to the point where now people might expect a little too much. But yeah, we're entering that phase right now where this is our time. This is it. Again, my number one thing is in terms of personnel. Come October, I'm planning for us to be there. I want us to have an ace on the mound for game 1. I think we have everything else we need. I think we have everything. Look, let's get down to brass tacks, okay? Who's going to win the World Series in 2026? If you're setting odds, the Dodgers, who's going to beat them? Who can say with any confidence that, oh, we can beat the Dodgers? Oh, we got them. We know how to press their buttons. We have the tools to counteract what they got. No, nobody does. If someone's going to knock off the Dodgers, they're going to be an underdog, and it's going to be an underdog thing, right? Chilo says Dodgers are going to win. And, either you're right, and that's the obvious answer anyway, or something magical happens, right? So, look, I want to win a pennant, okay? I'll worry about the Dodgers if that were to be our World Series matchup. And I can point to 1966 when an upstart Oriole team that had never seen a postseason before took on a Dodgers team led by the 1-2 punch of Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. They were heavily favored, and we swept that World Series. So it can happen. Now, is the 66 Dodgers comparable to the 2025 Dodgers? No. They didn't have two-way players. They didn't have like 7 guys with an OPS of like 900 or better. Like, it's just ridiculous what the Dodgers have. But one thing, this is the point I think I was trying to make. The one thing the Dodgers, I think, like, you can't really match the Dodgers on talent level. Hey, take care, Janet. But what you can do is kind of go with the philosophy of, like, depth really matters. Depth really matters. Like, try and make, like, your 26th man as good of a 26th man as there is in baseball. Like, you need that depth. You need, like I said, the rotation as it is now, it's serviceable. We should be contending. But obviously we want that ace for the playoffs. But if anything were to happen to any of our pitchers due to injury or ineffectiveness, there's not a whole lot of depth. Because now you're saying, well, Cade Povich, can you do it? Or if he's ready, Trevor Rogers, can you do it? We don't know. But we also know this, and that is every year there are players you expect to perform at a certain level, and they don't meet that expectation. They have a down year. And then you have other players that will surprise you. Players right now that we're not even talking about that could just absolutely blow us away with their best season. Who could that player potentially be? I don't know. Grayson Rodriguez obviously is a big one. Like, he could be the ace. He could be the guy. This could be the time. We'll have to see. Heston Kjerstad, if he's getting regular playing time, he could really rake. He could be a 30 home run guy, like right now, if he's getting the playing time. Hey, there's a lot going on in the Discord here. What else is going on? Oh, that's a conversation. Never mind. Yeah, thank you, Janet, for being around. All right, well, we've made it to the 10 o'clock hour. So we've been on for a couple of hours. I think that's probably a fair amount of time to get reacquainted. And where am I over here? Let me take you to the way back machine. Which is, I'm over here now. See, now you can see my eyebrow work a little better. All right. Hi. Why am I in HD? This light is too bright. I hate it. But that's the setting it needs to be for the green screen to, like, pop nice. Hey, let me move this over here so I can see the chat. Like, the transparent chat, like, it's nice. Can you guys read that transparent chat on the screen? Or do you have any recommendations on how to improve that? Like, do you think it needs to be a little less transparent? A little more? Not the names? What's that mean? What's not the names? The names of who's chatting doesn't show up? Oh, you're right. These glasses are useless. Sorry. You're going to have to get a real close-up look at me here. No, I see play-by-play with Jay. I see your name. It's in green. Your name is in green. Okay, it's hard to read the names. Well, how important is it? Is it all that important? Because it's green on a green field, I guess. But I don't know if I can change the color of that or not. I'll check it out. But I'll check it out. On the phone, it's hard to read the names. Okay, fair enough. So you're saying that the comments in white stick out fine, but the names in green, hard to read. Okay. I just don't know what... That's through Streamlabs. I don't know if you have the ability to go in there and like manually or what do you call it? Customize like colors like that, or you're just given whatever. I have to look at that. Luckily, I'm going to put that very low on the list of priorities, to be honest with you. Because, although I guess I get it. I want to be able to read the name. Honestly, though, I need better glasses. That's how I'm going to read the names. Yeah, I think the names, the colors have to do with if you're a member or not, or if you're a mod. I really don't know. It's all brand new. It's all brand new, folks. You want purple? Purple. You want the purple, huh? I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. So here's the deal. What is it, Thursday night where you are? Do me a favor. Turn on the notifications for at least the spring, because it's going to be, especially with the games. We don't know the schedule, the TV schedule. We don't know. So it's going to be a lot of playing it by ear. But if you want like a daily place to go, whether it's just for a couple of minutes or 15 to 20 to check in, help out the channel, get updated on what's going on, get my take, hit that notification bell. I'm probably, if I'm going to go on, probably going to go on around 8 p.m. and be done before 8:30. And that way I can still do my live stream for my other channel and probably start that at 9 o'clock and run it to like midnight. I do a comedy channel for like 7 people. But they enjoy it, and I do too. So yeah, a lot of stuff to figure out. But for now, I really want to just say thanks for the turnout and the support. It's 20... Again, if you saw my YouTube short, the night before the launch of season 2 was a giant orange full moon in my night sky. It was it felt like a sign. Why is the moon an Oriole orange color? I don't know, but on the eve of starting season 2, it felt like a sign. We are now starting 42 years without a pennant. 42 years without a pennant. Will this be the year? I'll tell you this. I refuse to die until we get a goddamn pennant. Okay? So that's my mission. To be here through all the pain and suffering until we finally reach the glory. Okay? The glory is coming. Oh, something's popping up. Oh, McAfee's not happy. Go away. Go away now. Thanks for the stream, BW. Can't wait for more content. See you soon, mate. Night. See ya. All right, so everybody's leaving. Let me get out of here. Thanks so much, everybody. Please do think about sharing this video, perhaps, or just letting a friend know. Come in and sign up. Let's do this real quick. One last thing before I go. This is it. I promise. Because the sub count disappeared on me. I want to know, did I gain a sub tonight? Did I gain a single? Oh, wait. Did that take me out to the ball game crap start again? Take me out to the ball game. That isn't on right now, right? I hope not. Okay. Yeah, one sec. Come on, folks. Give me the good news. Give me that good old-fashioned news. No music, thank you. Hey, Michael. What was I looking for? Oh, yeah. Wow. Nothing. Not a single one. Yeah, it's gonna... Folks, I mean, take a look. Take a look. It's in a book, A Reading Rainbow. I don't know why, but yeah, I've been hovering around 2290 the entire off season. And, yeah. Let's get these numbers up. All right, folks. Have a good night, and I'll be on maybe tomorrow, but if I'm not, it'll be soon and around 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? Until then, this has been the BirdWatcher, folks, and I'll chirp at you later. Have a good night. This is our year. Let's do it.